Welcome to another episode of the Feminine Truth Podcast with your host, Mary Miranda. Today, I'm bringing you another solo episode on 10 tips on how to heal after a breakup. And this is going to be a little bit different of a previous episode I did. That was a little bit more in depth. It was more packed with information. This is going to be shorter and a little bit more with tangible things that you can just take away and start implementing. And this is for any woman who is trying to heal for a breakup, whether it's from a situationship, just someone that you dated shortly, or even a long-term relationship. But like I said in my last episode, if you are healing from narcissistic abuse or some type of abuse, there's going to be additional work to address the trauma and to address the abuse. But let's get into the information. The first thing that you can start doing, and that is a must, is to go no contact, is to block the person, is to unfriend them from social media, because what we are trying to do is to not have them in our center of our world anymore, is to not think about them. I know you're thinking about this person, but if you continue to see their stories, their posts, or if you keep posting things, especially Instagram stories, especially in Facebook stories and quotes, in hopes of them looking at them, you are going to drive yourself crazy. So the first thing that we need to do is to block them, is to go no contact, and to unfriend them from all social media platforms. Maybe one day, if this wasn't a toxic relationship, when you are at a better place, you can revisit friending them again. But for the meantime, right now, you need to take care of you. You need to prioritize your well-being. You need to prioritize your healing. And it's so important to have a detox and a cleansing phase, because you're also trying to heal your heart. So the best thing to do is to go no contact. The second thing is that it's the chemical detox. And I know I said this in my previous episode, and I went a little bit more in depth on this, but right now, you're probably used to talking to this person a lot. You're probably used to daily communication. You're probably used to seeing them often, or seeing them in their social media, whatever they're posting. So right now, your body is going to go in through a chemical withdrawal phase. It's like a chemical detox. This is where the anxiety, where the desperation feeling that you want to see what they're doing, you want to go and talk to them, you want to text them, because that's going to give you a instant gratification of relief in your nervous system and that calmness. This is probably also, if you have an anxious attachment, what we want the most is to reconnect with the person so we can feel safe again. So right now, if you are going through a heartbreak and you're trying to heal from this breakup, the best thing to do, it's to know that the first days are going to be very intense, because your body, your brain, and your nervous system are trying to get used to this and adapt to this new reality without this person, without their attention, without them constantly messaging you, without seeing them. So it's a new normal for you. And if you are experiencing some type of like heightened emotion, anxiety, desperation, frustration, anger, whatever it is you're experiencing, you can always resort to EFT, which is emotional freedom technique and tapping. And that is something that can be, you can release those emotions or lessen the intensity that it feels in your body super fast, within 5 minutes, within 2 minutes. It's like my go-to healing tool that I use it every day. Sometimes I use it multiple times a day because I do struggle with anxiety some days and being sensory overload. But for this phase, just know that the first days are going to be very intense, because your body, your brain, and your nervous system are trying to understand what is happening. And maybe you are so used to the attention, the validation, the approval, whatever it is, it's probably going to come up and it's going to feel very intense. So use EFT, because a lot of times if you try to meditate, it is just going to make things worse. And a lot of times people are like, just breathe. Breath work actually really works. But if you are very anxious, a lot of times that doesn't work. That is going to make things worse. So you also need to find a healing modality that works to soothe your nervous system and bring you back to a window of tolerance, which is that window of feeling at peace and in your parasympathetic mode, which is like when you want to connect again, when you are calm, when you are more like level-headed, if you can say. So EFT is my go-to. You can actually go on YouTube and find some videos. I've done TikToks on a few techniques on this. The third thing, and I said this in my previous episode, but I'm going to say it again because this is so important. Do a list of I deserve better. Everything that this person did to you, what you went through, how you felt in the relationship, everything that you can think of, everything that is in your mind, that is in your soul, that is in your heart, put it down as to why you deserve better, why you deserve a better partner, why you deserve a better relationship, everything. So every time you feel like you're missing this person, you're thinking too much about this person, because there's going to be a phase that is the bargaining phase, or is this type of phase where you want to go back. You're like, oh, it was probably not so bad. Maybe if we talked and communicate more, things are going to get better. But maybe this person cheated on you, or maybe this person was a pathological liar. Maybe this person gaslighted you, or I don't know what happened exactly. But if you were not happy in this relationship, and if this person was not treating you right, and if you know you deserve better, and if you know this is not the treatment that you desire, you were crying all the time, you had anxiety, you were unhappy, you deserve better list, or a list that reminds you every time you miss this person and you read this list, it's going to be a reminder that you deserve better, and it's going to put your focus back on your healing journey and on yourself, and understand that the best decision that you made was to walk away from him and choose yourself. Maybe you were waiting to be chosen, and choosing yourself, it's taking your power back. And this list is actually so powerful because every time you miss this person, when the moments of glimpses that come back of you're like, maybe it wasn't so bad, like I said, the bargaining stage, this is going to be a reminder when you read it, and when you remember everything, the horrible things he said to you, how he made you feel, the abuse or the cheating or whatever it is that you went with this through with this person. Or even if there was no abuse, but maybe this person was inconsistent, maybe this person was like a 50-50 and you're not aligned with that. It could be various things that could be deal breakers and non-negotiables for you, that this person was not in alignment. Every reminder when you have those glimpses that you miss this person, this is going to reinforce and root you and bring you back to reality that you made the right choice, and it's going to keep you focused on your journey. So that's number 3. Number 4, this is where having an emotional support system is so important. If you have that, you are so lucky. I sometimes tend to isolate myself when I do the healing work. That is just my preference. I do have some friends that I have talked to, but if you have the type of friends that you know can hold space for you, that you know can be there for you, every time you have that anxiety or you want to text this person, you can either type or write a letter or type anything you desire to say to this person and put it in your notes or put it somewhere in your computer. Or you can tell a friend, do you mind if I text you every time I feel the pull or the desire or anxiety to text my ex? Do you mind if I text you instead? Because I am trying to go no contact and heal from this. And I just need someone to remind me to be strong and that I know that I made the right decision. So you also need those type of friends that you can specifically ask exactly for how you need to be supported, how you want to be supported through this journey. And also be conscious and ask them before, are you energetically open and available to hold space for me, to hear me out? I just need to vent. You don't even have to say anything to me. I just need to vent and to talk it out. I just need to get it out. And one of the things that I did is that I do say that to my sister. I've said that to my sister. So she doesn't say anything back. I just say, I need to vent. Don't say anything back. And she doesn't say anything back. But the more I started doing that, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do voice notes. So sometimes I just go on rants on my voice notes when I drive, and I just, whatever I release, and I let my throat chakra open and let everything out instead of talking to a friend. But if you have the vulnerability and you feel safe to talk to friends and ask for their support in ways that you actually need to be supported, so they can remind you and they can hold space for you, then do that. There were times in my healing journey when, instead of feeling support by family members, I got a lot of blame. I got a lot of shame. So there's a reason why I also kind of isolated myself. And it was just like it was a preference. It was a personal choice for me to do that. And so I'm going to leave you with that. So if you have the friends that can support you, then honestly do that. Number 5 is make a list of why you are worthy and enough, because a lot of times we forget. A lot of times we forget why we are worthy or we are enough, because maybe we are so much in the thick of the breakup and the heartbreak and the pain and the suffering and the anxiety that we need to remind ourselves of our worth and value. Maybe this person made you feel that you were not worthy or valuable or not enough or unlovable or something. You need to write a list exactly why you are worthy and valuable and enough and lovable. And if you need to do this every single day, this is something that I had to do for myself, then do it, because it's actually going to help you, and you're going to realize and start feeling more confident and realize your worth and value. Number 6 is make a list of how you desire to lead yourself through this heartbreak. Why is this important? This is important because a lot of times when we are in the heartbreak, when we are emotionally charged, when we are too much in our emotions, our logic and our rationality goes out the window. Our executive functioning goes out the window. So we are not thinking clearly. When we have a list ahead of time of ways that we envision ourselves leading ourselves through the heartbreak, especially when we are anxious, when we are depressed, when we are crying, when we miss this person, this is going to give us a structure in a way. I know a lot of times you're not going to be able to follow this 100%, but this is going to give you an idea to bring you back and root you back in your healing journey and ways that you want to be, feel, and act when you are healing, when you are in the mess, in the emotions. Because like I said, when you are too much in your emotions, the logic goes out the window and you are not going to be thinking clearly. So for example, this is something that I did. I said something. I am the type of woman that leads herself and she's emotionally intelligent. She handles her emotions. She doesn't lash out. She takes care of her emotions. So every time I felt a lot of anger, I felt those very charged emotions, I would do EFT. I would go to the gym. I would find a way to channel and transmute my emotions or alchemize my emotions so I would not lash out to anyone. And that's one way that I wanted to lead myself through that, because I am Latina. So a lot of times the stereotype with Latina women is that we lash out, we're angry women, and we're too emotional, we're too toxic. And there's all those stereotypes. So for me, it's like, okay, I want to be emotionally intelligent. I want to master my emotions. And I'm very emotional. I'm very highly sensitive. I am a very sensitive person. I'm very empathic. So for me, I need to be very careful with my emotions. And EFT, breathing, breath work. If I need to channel and if I need to release anger, rage, I have practices to do that. If I am sad, I have practices to do that. If I am experiencing anxiety, I have practices to do that. I need to channel those emotions and those feelings so they don't overcome me and I am not texting or lashing out to anyone. And I also journal. I have practices. I have ways that I need and practices that I do so I don't lash out because I desire to be a woman that is emotionally intelligent. And I don't really like using that word, emotionally intelligent, like a woman that manages her emotions to her best. And that was on my list on how do I want to lead myself to a breakup because that's very important to me. So you can put whatever you want on that list. For example, if you want to be the type of woman who no matter what's going on in her life, she still gets ready. You want to lead yourself through that because a lot of times when we are through grief, when we are in a breakup, when we are just like heartbroken, we don't want to get ready. But if you put on your list, I want to be the type of woman that no matter what, she still gets ready at some level. Maybe you don't do a full face makeup, but at least you put a little bit effort because that makes you feel good when you look at yourself in the mirror. It's all about how you want to feel about yourself. And maybe some days you're like, you know what, today I'm going to honor my emotions. I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to have a pity party. I am going to cry. I'm going to give myself this amount of time. And I'm just going to be an emotional mess. And then I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something to make myself feel better. I'm going to do a self-care practice. I'm going to do something to fill my cup and to love myself. That is a list that you need to do. Number 7, it's to feel those emotions and pay attention to the moments you want to distract yourself or numb out by using social media or scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on just any social media platform or going out too much or being too sociable because you are trying to avoid feeling your feelings, facing reality, which is really hard, the new reality that you are no longer with this person, that the future that you envision is no longer going to happen. So a lot of times we try to escape from our reality by using coping mechanisms like drinking, excessive going out, always wanting to be around people. So we are not alone with ourselves because being alone with ourselves is very frightening because that means that we have to be with ourselves, with our feelings, with our emotions. We are not distracted by anything. So a lot of times when we are by ourselves, we tend to numb out and distract ourselves by binge watching on Netflix, TV, scrolling on TikTok, or whatever social media you do it. So we need to find which coping mechanisms do you tend to use to numb out and distract yourself from feeling your feelings and doing the inner work and facing reality. And some days it's okay if you want to go out and distract yourself. I'm not saying not to do that, but if you are doing it all the time to avoid doing the healing work, then you are going to realize that this is just going to postpone the healing process and it's just going to make it longer and longer. So we are trying to find ways to disrupt those patterns by feeling our emotions, facing our reality, so they don't feel as intense. And at the same time, we need to soothe our inner child because maybe sometimes the way that we escape and distract ourselves is because we are so not used to be with ourselves. We abandon ourselves. We are not used to listening to ourselves, to hold space for ourselves. So when you are trying to heal and to be and feel your feelings, it's also for your inner child. Number 8 is focus on you, your health, your well-being, What habits do you need to implement, integrate, incorporate into your life? Do you need to work out? Do you need to eat healthier? Maybe in this relationship, you were eating junk food, you were drinking too much. What do you need to do so you can come back and feel good again? Because believe me, drinking too much, eating a lot of junk food does impact your mental health, just does impact your well being. Do you need, and if you don't have to start a healthy lifestyle if you don't want to, but if you do, it's going to be a game changer. That's exactly how I started my healing journey, by working out and eating healthier. And then I started integrating like meditation and then journaling and then yoga, and then things started adding up. And now I have a practice in the morning and the afternoon. I have tools on the go that I can use from anytime I need to heal. So do you need to work out? Do you need to eat? Do you need to eat healthier? Meditate? Do you need to do Pilates, yoga? What do you desire to do? What would feel so soothing and exciting for you to do or help you? Even if it's a walk, that's good enough. What habits and self-care can you incorporate in your life that could become a lifestyle and help you achieve the glow up after this breakup that you desired? And number 9 is make a list of the woman of your dreams. And the woman of your dreams, it's you, but it's an up, it's kind of like a your best version. Who you are right now, it's enough. It's amazing. But we are trying to heal from this heartbreak. We are trying to get a glow up. We are trying to be our own upgrade, the love of our lives, our own, the woman of our dreams. So I call it this just because this is who I aspire to be. You could also call it your alter ego, whatever it is that you desire. But this is going to help you have kind of like a purpose and a focus on this healing journey. When you make a list, focus on her. Who is she? What is her lifestyle like? What does she desire? What is her vision? What are her standards? What are her values? What does she desire in a relationship? How does she want to feel? Not just in a relationship, but I guess this could help you also understand that you deserve the best love that you desire and you're worthy of it. And maybe the relationship you're trying to heal from was not the relationship for you. So this is going to be kind of like envisioning this woman that you are becoming day by day, because who you are is enough, but we can love and accept and know that we are worthy and enough as we are right now, while also knowing that we can become better and improve who we are. And just tapping to, how does she feel? If I was the woman of my dreams, what is her life like every day? What does she do every day? How does she feel every day? How does she act every day? And I know it's not possible to embody her 100% all the time, but start kind of like reverse engineering on things that you can start doing every day so you can slowly start becoming this woman. And the last tip is number 10, is date yourself and your inner child. And what that means, this is not just kind of like going out to dinner. This is not just taking yourself out on dates. This is not just going to get yourself flowers. This is very intentional, dating yourself with intention to also heal your inner child and your unmet needs and be there for you the way nobody has been there for you. Because, like I said, a lot of times we abandon ourselves, we are not there for ourselves. So, this is going to be one way that you can start healing your inner child, but also your adult self. So you're going to make a list of all the needs that were not met as a child and everything that you wish this man had done for you and how you wish you had been treated. And a way that I started healing my inner child and myself was through doing this work, that I was like, okay, if I had always desired a man to give me flowers, but the flowers that I love, the flowers the color made me happy, I need to go and do that for myself. And I don't like. Roses are beautiful, but they are not what makes me happy. I like wildflowers. I like sunflowers. They have a meaning to me because my dad gives me sunflowers. He's the first man has ever given me sunflowers on my birthday. So sunflowers have a very special meaning to me. So when I started doing this journey, it's like I miss my dad giving me flowers, and I miss my inner child. My inner child wants that too. So I started going to the market. I started like picking the right flower for me, the flowers that when I saw it made me happy, made me feel something within my body. And I started giving myself those little things. If I had always desired a man to take me out on a fancy steak dinner, I did get that before, but it was always fights. There was always something that it was never a pleasant meal. And this was back in my toxic relationships. Then I started taking myself out on fancy dinner dates, steak dates. So the way that and this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are like, oh, so you only accept the first dinner dates. I'm like, yes, for the first dates, I only accept dinner dates. I don't do coffee dates. I don't do hiking dates. And my standards are very high for first dates, especially if somebody wants to date me, because I do that for myself. I give that to myself. So I want someone that matches my energy. So if I'm taking myself and doing this for myself because I love myself and I deserve this and I like treating myself great, I am not going to settle for someone that doesn't treat me the same way. So this is the same energy that I want you to take on this list of dating yourself and your inner child. Is you are going to do things for you, so you never settle for anyone to treat you less than you treat yourself. So you're going to start doing things to heal your unmet needs. Anything you desire, anything you wish someone had done for you, your parents, if you always felt abandoned, what ways can you date yourself to show yourself that you are there for you? Is it through when you are experiencing an emotional breakdown? The best way is to not abandon yourself. The best way is to hug yourself, to soothe yourself, to feel your feelings. That tells your body that you are there for you. That tells your inner child that you are there for you. Talk to your inner child. I'm here for you. I'm so sorry I abandoned you. I got you back. It's you and I. You have to reconstruct and rebuild the relationship also with your inner child. And this is why this is so crucial. I'm going to do a separate podcast on just inner child healing because it is one of the most powerful healing modalities that you can do for yourself. But make a list on things that you can do. And you can also like do fun date activities. You can go to a bookstore, you can do skydiving, like things that are also fun and playful. You want to be more fun and playful and integrate that because maybe you never got play and fun as a child, or maybe you in the relationship you never experienced joy and being silly. Maybe you want to integrate that into this practice too. I hope these tips helped you, and I hope you implement every single one of them. And if you don't, even if you implement one of the lists that I suggested and it helps you out one way or the other, please let me know. I would love your feedback. And I am so happy and I'm so grateful that you took the time to listen to this podcast. And if you have not left a review, I would be so grateful if you take the time today to leave a review and let me know your thoughts. You can also share this on social media and let me know your thoughts. And if you have a specific question, you can send me a DM on Instagram or on TikTok. All the social media links are in the show notes. And as always, I love you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time.